Heavy sucker. All right, folks, I am going to show you a quick and easy way to season your wood for bow making, in this case, woodworking, all kinds of carving and other related projects. My mama and I were doing a little wild plants and bird watching hike today through some areas that were really impacted by the huge snowstorms we had in Northern California this winter. Tons of trees broken and down. And there was one that was hanging over the trail in a kind of precarious manner and could definitely use some tending, that happened to be a wonderful wood for making bows out of. The tree is Pacific Yew, and it is a very traditional bow wood with a beautiful dark color in the interior. It can be a real rosy red. You see that? Can you see that beautiful red interior? So pretty. Older yew trees have much darker interior as well. Such beautiful wood. One of the predicaments with harvesting fresh wood is that it might be totally intact when we cut it, but green wood tends to what we call check, which basically means get lots of cracks in it that make it unusable for a lot of crafty projects. If you're going to make a bow, which is going to be under incredible bend and need a lot of tensile strength, you do not want to have cracks in your bow wood. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little concerned that this piece is going to be too short for making a bow. Ideally, a yew bow would be a long bow, taller than I am, but this is a little bit shorter than me. It was the piece I had to work with given this tree and where it broke. But now that I have this one and have shared this much, I am absolutely going to find a suitable piece of yew wood for a bow so that I can show you the bow making process on this channel as well. Keep your eyes open for that video sometime in the future. And don't forget, my book, Never Alone, comes out June 2023. Information on how to order it at my website, WoniyaTibo.com. The reason that woods crack when they are drying is that the cut ends of the tree is where all of the cells that carry water and food, the xylem and phloem, they're made to transport water up and down a tree, right? So they dry out very quickly wherever there is a cut end. They're made to retain moisture everywhere where there is bark, anywhere that there aren't cut wood. So what happens when we have something that's cut on both ends is the ends close to the cuts dry out really quickly, while the interior dries out super slow because the water has to come out through the bark. That leads to difference in moisture throughout the wood, and that is what leads to checking. So what we need to do to keep our beautiful wood beautiful for use is to slow the drying process so that it has to dry through the bark rather than through these cut ends. To do that, we need to seal these ends with some kind of moisture barrier. So there are different things that you can use depending on what you got and what you're after. You can drip liquid wax over it, although that might not form a great seal because if the ends are moist like this one is, then the wax might end up sloughing off or it could easily peel off. Another option that some people use is something like an enamel paint. Quick and easy if you happen to have a bucket of enamel paint lying around, you just dunk the ends in. But this thing, it's not super easy to just dunk, and that makes a mess, frankly. You're wasting this resource that's kind of gnarly, like enamel paints I don't really like to have around. Oil-based paints, they're pretty toxic. So my preferred method is using a glue of some kind. I've got a variety of glues here, a clear glue, a white glue, Elmer's type, which is actually based on hide glue. And then I have something that's actually a sealant for paper mache. So I'm thinking this might be the best of the lot, though I haven't actually used this yet. Super simple. All I'm gonna do is smear every cut end with a nice coating of glue. And I'll probably do that twice just to be sure. And then I'm just gonna monitor as it dries. And if it does happen to open up any cracks, then I'm going to be resealing those cracks too to slow down the drying. If I do this well, then hopefully this wood will be ready to use in a year, 2 years maybe. So it definitely takes patience. Bow making takes patience. So it's something that you really want to take your time and make the best of your beautiful high quality wood. Clear glue, honestly, I don't really know what's in it or how it's made, but it is water-based. Elmer's glue, this is one that my mom had in her craft supplies. It cost 37 cents. I'm gonna guess this one is from the 70s, probably around the time I was born in mid-70s, but who's to say? And then this one, which says that it can be used for either a sealant, glue, or finish. So this one I think is going to be the way to go. Dries to a slick surface that hopefully should not dissolve in water. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you'd like to be more involved in all that I do and have direct interaction with me and all kinds of other great benefits, consider joining my Patreon team. Information in the description. I'm literally just smearing the sealer all over the surface. It feels so simple, it almost seems silly to make a video about it, but if you don't know, you don't know, just like I didn't when I was first learning to work with wood. So unless someone gives you this tip, you might find yourself harvesting all kinds of lovely woods and being so frustrated because every time you do, your wood ends up cracked and unusable, while your friend's beautiful harvested wood looks gorgeous and they make exquisite art out of it. You want to make sure that you work it well into all of the cracks, because what you don't want are any little bits uncovered, because then if all the rest of it is sealed and you have just one area that isn't, you better believe that that one is going to dry way fast and might exacerbate the cracking rather than fixing your problem. Can you see this? There are literally about 500 mosquitoes in a swarm around my head right now. Do you see this? Do you see how dedicated I am to sharing the skills with y'all? Totally just inhaled one. Ooh. Little extra protein with my dinner. Also, while it's important to seal all of it, you want to pay special attention to the very, very edge, because that is the actively living parts of the tree, the parts that are actively transporting water and nutrients. So those are going to lose moisture even faster than the rest. Here's one of those side bits I didn't quite do. And that is literally that. So quick, so easy, with things you probably have laying around the house. But this less than 5-minute step will make a world of difference in your wood crafts, whatever they may be. Bow making, carving, atlatls, whatever it is, this is going to change your world. Additional tip, get the wood balanced just so that the balance point is just right on your shoulder before trying to stand up with it. All right, the ends are sealed and I have tucked the log away under the eaves where it won't get rained on, but we'll still have exposure to the open air. By tomorrow, it should be dry. I will put on a second coat of my sealer and then it'll be good to go. See you next time, and don't forget that there are so many ways that you can have more of a hand in tending the wild spaces around you and having wonderful resources for yourself and your loved ones to use as well.